So apparently my parents talk about a lot of heavy stuff on their podcast. Listen at your own discretion. Like, comment, subscribe, and share or whatever. Anyways, welcome to Sobriety.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Ryan. This is Jess. We are sober as fuck. Before we get to today's guest, I just want to remind everybody we are available on every platform now. All platforms.
Every single one.
Like, subscribe, review, share.
Share. Make sure that you're commenting and reviewing. I know you said reviewing, but we don't have enough reviews. We have tons of people who listen, tons of people who give us feedback. But you guys aren't actually telling us if you enjoy it.
Yeah. Write a review.
You listen to it, and then we're just over here going, what'd you think?
Well, what'd you think of it?
And we don't know. We don't know what you thought. You have to tell us. So,
yes, review, comment.
Something kind of funny. You see me messing with my microphone. So if at any point you hear like some sort of demonic interference... For anybody who has been with us since the very beginning, when we first started filming our podcast, I started out with like a karaoke microphone. Like legit came in a karaoke machine kit, okay? And if you know, you know, those things break down so easily. But I was convinced, I was like, we do not have to spend a fuck ton of money on a new mic. I can make this work. And so I electrical taped the cord so that it didn't wiggle around, and I electrical taped it to the microphone, and it worked. It actually worked.
Worked for a while.
And I was fine with it, but Ryan's like, that is janky as shit. We've got to get something new. So we did. So we switched over to these mics, and we're like, you know, troubleshooting as people do, trying to figure out how to get it all to work best so that we sound like we know what we're doing. When obviously, you know, we're still figuring it out. And I used this cord, and I'm like, what the fuck is that sound? It's like, meh, meh, meh. And then I realize it's the cord.
Yeah, it's the same cord. New microphones, but same cord.
From the original OG karaoke microphone. So kicking it old school. And if you're watching, if you look very closely, you can see that I have it rigged right here. And then I have this cord like flopped around.
But I bet if you didn't say anything, they would have never known.
But what fun is that?
Well, you know, I'm just saying. Looks okay to me. Sounds great.
That's boring. I want people to know. I want people to know that I'm over here just like rigging this podcast. Hey, well, I'm very creative. Whatever works.
I mean, it made electrical tape for a reason. There you go. Boom.
But as soon as we're finished filming, I'm going to go buy a new cord.
Yes.
Because that seems to be the smarter thing to do.
Yes, I agree.
I guess. More money. Making it rain on the podcast. Anyways, that's why you guys should review, okay?
Yes.
Because I got to go buy all this shit to do this fucking podcast, and I love it.
Yep.
So let me know what you think.
Yep.
You better like it.
That's right. Review, comment, subscribe, share. All platforms.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Anything else?
I don't think so. No, that's just my Monday little bitch fest today. And I'm going to say that every single person I've encountered today, which has really only been like the barista at Starbucks, you, and our guest, have been like, today is the Mondays of Mondays. I don't know what it is, but it's just, you know, somebody has a case of the Mondays.
Mm-hmm. We have them.
It's everybody.
Yep.
Universal. So tell us about Ashley, our guest, who's also having the Mondayest Monday.
Ashley Kalar-Miller. She is from Minnesota, actually from Minneapolis, and she is in the real estate biz, just as you are. She's about 3.5 years sober. She's got a really good story to tell us, and I'm interested to hear it. So please, let's welcome to the show, Ashley. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
Good. Like you said, Mondayest Monday ever, but I'm glad to be here.
Gosh, it's like, would you stop already?
That's right.
Jesus.
Like, I'm ready for it to just be Tuesday.
Yes. Monday is like, I always compare this, like, it's like that friend who, like, you love and is around and you keep them around, but god damn, they're so fucking annoying. You know what I mean? You're just like,
Yes.
ugh. So I hear you. It's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
Ashley, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here. I've been listening, and I'm just loving everything that you guys are putting out. I think it's just absolutely fantastic and so important for people to hear other people's stories so that they know, like, being sober is pretty cool, actually.
That's right. And you're
is so
and you're not
cool.
alone. That's the
Yeah.
biggest part of it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
tell us a little bit about your story. I mean, you're coming up on 3.5 years sober.
Congrats.
Congrats, by the
Thank
way.
you.
That's
Thank you.
huge. What was kind of like your turning point, your aha moment, whatever it was that made you change your relationship with alcohol?
Yeah, when I think back on it, honestly, it was a Tuesday, and I was still hungover from the weekend because I did a lot of binging on the weekends where it was like Monday through Thursday, I was like, oh, everything's great and works great and everything is all fabulous. And then on the weekends, it was just like party down, Friday night, first thing I do, we're going out. And yeah, so it was a Tuesday. And I was still hungover from the weekend, like to the point of like throwing up on Tuesday when I like quit drinking on Sunday, and I was like, I never want to feel like this again. I tried quitting prior to that a few times, like 3 times, where I was like, okay, I'm done drinking. We're done drinking. And then something would come up, a holiday, a friend wanted to go out, they were celebrating their birthday, whatever, and then I'd be like, oh, just a few, and then yeah, and then I just kept drinking, kept drinking,
Famous
kept
last
drinking.
words.
Exactly.
Oh, I'll just come out for one drink.
Yeah,
Right.
and then it's 2 in the morning, blackout. Yeah. So, yeah. So then it was a Tuesday, and I told he was my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, like, hey, I'm serious this time. Like, I'm quitting drinking, and he's like, mm-hmm, and I was like, no, I really think I'm serious. So I texted a few of my friends too, just to like hold myself accountable. Like, hey guys, like, don't invite me out. I'm not drinking, and they were like, everyone's reaction was pretty similar of like, okay, we'll see you on Friday, kind of. And I was like, no, I'm a little stubborn. So I was like, no, like, I'm going to do it this time. And I think it was just a lot of like being hungover. Work was affected. I was getting older at the time. I was like 28 or whatever. And was I 28? Maybe I was like 29. And it was just like affecting me longer, like drinking on the weekends, being hungover. And I still lived in my college town at the time, and it was just like, I was just sick of my own shit, really. And it was just like, this is not who I am. I know that I'm better than just being hungover and like coasting through life. And that's kind of what changed my mindset about being sober. And I was like, no, I'm taking this seriously this time. Like, I'm going to stop, and that's it. That was, yeah.
Did you ever have like a rock bottom moment? Was there? I mean, I know you said you wake up and maybe that was your rock bottom where you felt like shit, but like, you know, anyone who's gotten sober, maybe you don't have one single rock bottom, but I feel like that seed is planted long before. Like you said, you tried to get sober so many times.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes people don't have any sort of outward facing, what should I say, like indications that they have an issue. Do you feel like people around you knew that you had a drinking problem? Were you good at hiding it? What did that look like?
I feel like I subconsciously surrounded myself with people who were okay with my habits. Because I don't really talk to most people who I surrounded myself with before when I was drinking. And now I look back and I know that I was like hanging out with certain people because I knew that we were going to go out on the weekends, and that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And to the rock bottom point, so I decided to quit drinking, and I started reflecting on just my life in general. And now I have a lot of clarity. But then it's so mucky when you are first, because you're like, not excited, but you're in the moment of like drinking and in the thick of it. And reflecting back now, it's actually, I was at a rock bottom, but at the time I didn't realize that I was there. So looking back now, it's like wild to me because, so I bought my first house when I was 25, which was like a big deal and it was great. But looking back now, it's like my house was $100,000. My mortgage was like $700 because I bought it at like a 3% interest rate or whatever. And it's crazy because like I could barely afford my mortgage because I was going out and drinking and doing drugs all weekend long and spending money on, if you know, in the Midwest, pull tabs and drinking and bar tabs and hard drugs. And it's like, looking back now, it's so sad to see where I was and where I'm at now. So like at the time I didn't realize, I thought I was doing great. I bought a house, I was 25, I was in my career, like this is awesome, you know, I'm doing the things, I'm checking off the boxes. And looking back now, it's like I was not even living like an authentic life to me. It was like I was just checking the boxes that I felt needed to be checked.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So you made the comment that you surrounded yourself with these people that would pretty much accept you for your binge drinking or whatever you were doing. How did that change then after you decided? They said, well, we'll see you Friday, but you didn't show up. So over time, how has that changed your relationships?
It's actually so crazy. Like for the first few months, I didn't do a program or anything. So I really just like isolated myself. I was like, I'm going to work and I'm not leaving my house on the weekends because I can't trust myself to not drink. So it was probably like 4 months of me just like isolating myself. And slowly but surely people started kind of not texting me back, not inviting me places, which was a good thing for me because I was like, awesome, I don't have temptation. But now to this day, it's actually pretty much everyone that I talk to, because it was a lot of like work friends that grew into friendships. And now I barely talk to any of the people. Here and there, they'll be like, hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while. Or I'll share something about my sobriety and they're like, oh, that's super awesome. Like, I'm so proud of you. Or they have like questions, then they'll reach out. But otherwise it's not like I'm hanging out with a bunch of people that I used to hang out with. So my entire like social circle pretty much changed in the last 3.5 years.
Yeah. What about your relationship? So I know, like, and it's very common. I was the same way with Ryan, where it's like, okay, yeah, same story, different day. And it's not that you don't have faith in these people. It's just that it's a form of self-protection, right? You don't want to go all the way there. But how did it affect your relationship? Because you and your husband met while you were still heavily drinking, correct?
Yes.
And then you got sober after being married. So what did that look like?
So actually, I have two things. So what's really funny is that me and my husband, we worked together, but he traveled around. So I used to work at a restaurant, a corporate restaurant. So I was a server. I worked up to like bartender and then manager, hourly manager, and then salary. And he also worked at the same restaurant, and he travels around. He would travel around to different restaurants, including mine that I worked at, and he like gave us a score, like an audit. And how we ended up like being together is we went out one night to go over this score and got blackout drunk and ended up hooking up. And literally I like woke up the next day and he was like, call an Uber to go home. And I was like, what is going on? Anyways, we ended up loving each other and everything's fantastic, but it's just, that's how our relationship started. And so we would always go out on the weekends together because that's what we did. And then when I quit drinking, he did not quit drinking. And I had a serious conversation with him like, hey, you are drinking a 6-pack or more of Twisted Tea and shots of Fireball every night of the week. Like, that's not good for you. I care about you, and I don't know if I can keep, like, doing this relationship if this is how it's going to be, because I'm taking this seriously. And he was like, no, I'm fine. And I was like, okay. And then one day, a credit card came in the mail that he, like, applied for when he was drunk, and he was like, maybe I do have a problem. So then we kind of, when he made that decision, I was like, here's what I did. It's going to be, you know, it's hard and it's whatever. So we leaned on each other for support when we were having really hard days.
That sounds eerily familiar to our story, which we've told, but we met in a bar. We were both drunk. And when you say that he got drunk and applied for a credit card, do you know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Okay. So I love this furniture store that is like stupidly expensive, Restoration Hardware.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is just unfathomable, but you know, they have beautiful furniture. And so I think that we were talking about something and we were looking online and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to pay like $1 million for a bed or whatever.
Right.
And the next, or no, it was like a couple weeks later, he gets this credit card in the mail from Restoration Hardware. And he's like, what the fuck is this? And he thought that I applied for it.
She did it.
He like texted me and was like, what the fuck? Why did you apply for this credit card? That shit's so expensive. And I said, honey, I didn't apply for any credit card. And he's like, okay. And so he goes back and he looks and he's the one that did it. And kind of the same thing. I mean, we never ended up buying anything, but he's like, I seriously don't remember doing that.
Yeah.
I did that with Amazon like all the time.
You're like, what is this?
Yeah, 2 days later, shit would be showing up at the front door, and she's like, did you order this? I'm like, yeah, I did.
Sure.
It got to the point where if I would like order him a birthday gift, even if it had my name on it, he would like open it because he was scared it was something that he had ordered. And it like ruined all of the birthday gifts. So yeah, that's kind of what that made me think of. So, I mean, and I know that it's not your story, but how did that go for him? What did that journey look like?
I think that was like his turning point too, where we both ended up reflecting like on our life. So we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, and he moved in right away because we started dating January 2020. So COVID happened and they were talking about shutting down the borders, and I'm like, I have a 2-bedroom house, like move in. If something doesn't happen, like I have 2 bedrooms, at least, you know, we have each other to lean on. So that was also an additional layer of hard going through COVID and trying to be in a relationship and then getting sober. And anyways, but for him, you know, we reflected and we're like, how we have 2 income. Our mortgage is like $750. Like, how are we broke right now? Like, we are broke. Like, we literally were like living paycheck to paycheck, and we both were like bringing in, you know, I was salary, he was salary. We're like, how? And we started looking at it, and it's like, as soon as we quit drinking, like a month later, it was like, holy crap, where's all this money coming from? And we were like, oh my gosh. So we were in credit card debt, car debt, any debt, like literally thousands and thousands of dollars. And we're like, oh my gosh. So we started paying off debt and then just reflecting on our life together. And we actually ended up we got engaged. And then I was like, wow, this is like serious. I never thought I was going to get married. So this is so awesome. And then we made the decision So we got engaged in like November, got married in July the following year, so pretty quick. And then we got home from, it was like a mini moon. Our friends got married in Banff, and we got home and we were like, our life has completely changed. We need to change. So we like listed our house and just like started looking in a new area because we lived in this, it's St. Cloud, Minnesota. So it's a college town, party down, like anything after 8 p.m. is like the only thing open is a bar. And you kind of get stuck there. It's kind of like this like wormhole where if you go there, you kind of just like get in that community and you just like stay there. And like I thought I was so cool because I knew so many people, and it was like because I worked in the service industry, I went to the bar every night, like I had all these friends, and I was just stuck in this wormhole of this environment of a party town pretty much. So we got back and we were like, we're listing our house, we're gonna find something else. And there was like 5 houses on the market at the time, of course, because the housing market's wild. And we looked at our house now, and we moved, and our life literally just like quantum leaped because we were like out of that environment. We quit drinking. Our house is like 3 times the amount it was, and it's like we have money. We are paying off debt. Like all these like beautiful things are happening because we made that one decision to like quit drinking. So it's wild.
That's incredible.
And with all that, how's that changed, professionally for you from where you were before to now? Just changing one thing for everything, it seems like.
Yes. So, like I said, I worked at a restaurant. I was salary. And then COVID happened. I was still at the restaurant I was working at. And because of COVID, they sent everybody home except for the salary managers. So we were working pretty much every single day, opening the restaurant. We were still doing to-go. I was a kitchen manager at the time, so I was like working, like cooking food and like doing all these things. And it was pretty much like 6 days a week, open to close, because that's how we had to survive because we didn't know what was going on. And I would come home just like in tears because I was working so much and I was so burnt out. And this is when I was still drinking. And my husband was like, you got to make a change. And I was like, I know, but I don't know what to do. And I don't know, call it the universe. But my realtor who helped us buy our first house was eating at the restaurant, Texas Roadhouse, where I worked. And she was like, come outside. She's texting me, come out and say hello to me. This is when they were like half open or whatever. And she was like, come say hi. I'm not leaving till you say hi. And I was like, I literally can't. It is just me. I'm making all the food. I cannot. She's like, well, I'm not leaving till you come say hi. And I was like, all right, fine. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go say hi or else this person's not gonna leave. They're like, fine, go, quick. And I like walked out and I was like, do you know anybody who's hiring? Like, this is terrible. And she's like, actually, my dad is hiring front desk and real estate. Not sure if you'd be interested, but like, worth a conversation if you're serious. And I was like kind of joking. And then I was like, I'll give it a try. So I had a conversation with her dad, and he was like, yeah, I'll hire you. Like, let's go. I took a pay cut but I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, the service industry is known as just like, you go out all the time. Like, that's what you do. That's how you bond. Like, and it was just time. And I was like, all right. So I was still drinking at the time, but I took this new job as a front desk person at a real estate office. And the guy who hired me was like, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to run with it? And I was like, sure. So that's kind of the business I am now. I help real estate agents behind the scenes. But as I was diving into like business ownership and entrepreneurship, didn't even know it existed at the time. I was like, what is going on? And I started reading self-help books, like a lot of them, because I was like, I don't know what else to do. So I don't know what's going on. So we're just going to read self-help books and, fake it till we make it. And as I was reading them, I was reflecting on my drinking and just my habits and all these things. And I was like, wow, I really have a problem. And that's when I went out that one weekend and I got really drunk, and that Tuesday, I think it was just like everything leading up to it, and I was like, I'm done. I've been reading all these self-help books. Like, I need to change my life. And that's what kind of like snowballed this whole thing. So yeah, it's just, I made a career switch, then we moved houses. Like, the environment around us has completely changed.
Yeah, that's awesome though, because when it really is like you have to shed that older version of yourself. And not everybody, but a big majority of people who struggle with drinking or addiction, or however, they, whatever they consider themselves, they do have to completely let go of anything that tethered them to that life. My brother, who's been sober now for 5.5 years, he moved back to Texas where we grew up. My best friend moved from West Tennessee to East Tennessee. And I hear this, we couldn't up and move whenever Ryan got sober, but and I'm sober too, but it all started with him getting sober. But he doesn't really talk to the same people he's talked to before. And we definitely don't go to the places we went to whenever we were both drinking. He's an avid golfer. But the other day I was like, you haven't been golfing in forever. And he's like, oh, I still enjoy it. But like, I just haven't wanted to. And it's because, it was the game of golf, but also it was a chance to like go and drink all day long with an excuse. So yeah, it really is. It's like a molting process. You have to like flake all that shit off. What about people who were close to you? Like, I know you said that pretty much all of your friends were like drinking buddies.
Oh, yeah.
But like family outside of your husband, close friends, childhood friends, like what did those tight inner circles look like?
It's so crazy you say that, because I think I started drinking because of like instability in my younger years. So my real dad is not in my life. My mom and I moved around a lot when I was younger, like a lot. I was born in Minnesota. We moved to Illinois when I was young. She met my stepdad at the time, and then we moved to Arizona for a while, and then we moved to Minnesota. So we moved around a lot when I was younger, so there wasn't really that stability. My dad is an addict too, so like the only memory I have of him is like him in rehab, me visiting him in rehab, and then like we tried to rekindle things when I was like 18, and we like got into a car accident, and then it was like,
oh gosh,
which it wasn't bad. Like everyone was safe, but it was also just like the first time seeing him in like 10 years, and then it was like very uncomfortable because I couldn't get out of my car door, and he was trying to talk to me, and I was super uncomfortable because I didn't know who this person was, and we just got in a car accident, and it was just like, yeah. So he's an addict, and then also like growing up, both of my mom's parents, one died of an overdose, and one died just because he drank and did drugs so much that he had holes in his brain, so he pretty much just like passed away. And then on my dad's side, my grandma also like pretty much removed all of her family because she was like a narcissist and an addict. So it was just, there's been a lot of addiction in my life, which makes sense why I am the way I am. But yeah, I think that is an interesting dynamic just because I have a small family. So it's me, my mom, my stepdad, and my little brother. My mom and my brother still drink. My stepdad, he doesn't really drink, so he's been very supportive. But like my mom, she's very supportive as well, but it's just a little bit of a different relationship, I would say. Mm-hmm. And then childhood friends, I had so many growing up that would come and go just because of the instability of where we lived, that I had new friends all the time. So I was really used to that. But realizing like my close friends, it was really just a surface relationship. And now like the people that I surround myself with are just like absolutely amazing. And now I really know what real friendship is, where I can 100% be myself and not have to drink or put on a facade. like I was doing, that I didn't realize I was doing, but now reflecting back on it, that like now I can be 100% myself with like the friends that I'm surrounding myself with. I can stand up for myself, like in my, with my parents and my brother, and just be myself and have my own values without, feeling shameful or anything like that.
That's incredible. That's really incredible. That happens a lot too. Your relationship with yourself, with the people around you, with work, I mean, just with life in general becomes more genuine. It starts with, quitting drinking or quitting drugs or whatever it is. And then it just makes you more mindful about everything you're doing. I mean, literally, like, even small things like the music you're listening to, the food you're eating, and not everybody becomes like a health nut or like, type A, but it's just, you're like, I spent so much of my time and my energy on these things that just depleted me and like destroyed my health. I'm just not going to do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm more fun now that I'm sober because I'm like, you don't have to worry about it. I tell people all the time, like, I still want to go out. I still want to go dance. I still want to go do all these things. I'm just not going to drink. But I can be designated driver for everybody. That's okay. It's fine.
Right.
Just don't puke in my car.
That's right.
Yeah. And if you do, you have to clean it up.
You have to clean it up. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I feel like it is just crazy. So my best friend Jenny, she's also sober. And we met each other because one of our work colleagues was like, hey, she doesn't drink and you don't drink. You guys can be friends. And we're like, we've heard this so many times before. And well, it turns out she was right. And I love Jenny. She's my best friend. And we actually met at a work event. And she does social media for real estate agents. So we were like, oh, like, cool, tell me about what you do. And she was like, oh, I've always wanted to do like retreats and whatnot. And I was like, oh, well, I'm very like, let's just do it. Let's just figure it out. So we met each other. It was like 2 weeks into meeting each other. We planned and executed a retreat. And it was actually like a sober curious retreat. So it was no drinking. And we sold it out in like, I don't know, 14 days, 14 women came. And that's really when I was able to like tell my story. And my mom was actually one of them. And she's like, I didn't realize like, what you've gone through. And it's wild because when I was telling my story to these women, it's like, what you don't realize is like how gray and like mundane everything was, and how like now it's like I see colors and I like feel my feelings, and I'm not just like a numb bug. I'm literally like, I am sad or I'm happy or I feel real joy, where before it was just like a dumbed down version of, happiness or whatever. And the world is just like so much more colorful and beautiful because I'm not like numbing all of that stuff out.
Yeah. So in the real estate business, because I know with Jessica, there's always a lot of get-togethers and things like that, or networking.
Oh yeah.
And I've been to a few of those with Jessica, and they're kind of like, I'm in the automotive industry, and it's just booze fueled.
We get turned.
Yeah. So my question to you was, obviously you had a little bit of time under your belt when you kind of got into this and you went on your retreat, but when you're doing these, events, gatherings, networking, whatever it is, how are you navigating those at first when you were, newly sober, or just, doing those because you isolated yourself for a long time?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, now I've got to go back out in the real world. I've got to face these things. How was that navigating that this time without alcohol?
Yeah, I think at the more sober I get, the harder boundaries I have. I like when I was first stepping out into the world, like there were so many firsts when you get sober, you know what I mean? Like going out to eat and not ordering a drink is like a wild thing, but when you're not drinking and you're used to drinking all the time, so many firsts that you kind of get over. And I think as I was, reintegrating myself into society, if you will, it was just getting over those things for the first time. And at first, I wasn't very vocal about not drinking. It was very because of the industries I was in. First, it was the service industry, and now real estate, which both are very excited to network. Mm-hmm. As I got over the first, so I went to my very first event. It was during the day, which I'm so thankful for, because it's I don't know how long I would have made it. But once I got over that, I was like, okay, that just put a little bit of confidence in that bucket. And then I actually remember my very first, it was an overnight, we went to, I don't know if it would be a conference, but it was a meeting that was 2 days long where we ended up staying, and everyone's all right, we're going out, they were in Minneapolis, and I was I put on the professional, suit. I put my professional suit on where I'm okay, because I still was not quite vocal about being I'm not drinking. I was oh, I'm at a work event, so I'm going to be professional. And I think that's really what got me through saying no to, people offering drinks. And the longer I've been sober, the more vocal I've really been about being sober. If people ask, I'm nope, I don't drink. I'm 3.5 years sober. And I think that holds power in its own. Now, I'm very I'm sober. You guys have fun. I'm out of here. I go to bed at 9 p.m. I'm out of here. So, yeah, I really at first it was putting on anything that kept me strong, saying, being professional, or anything that would give me a little bit of confidence to say no, thank you. And then realizing that once I told my story, once I went on that retreat and told my story, and everyone was blown away, it was wow, I don't need to hide from it. I need to tell people because it's powerful. So now I've just been really vocal, and that just really is so helpful when, situations arise.
Yeah, that's really great advice too for, everybody's different. Not everybody just comes out and says, I'm sober, 2 days into it or whatever.
Right.
And well, a lot of that has to do with, you're afraid of disappointing yourself, disappointing others, and things like that. So it's almost I hear this a lot in the rooms, is fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And it's great that you found that, mechanism, whatever you want to call it, to help you through that.
Right.
Which I think is great. Sorry, excuse me. So, you kind of took on that role to say, listen, I'm not going to do it. And it worked until you got to that point, which I think is phenomenal. That's great advice for somebody that hasn't really found their voice yet.
Right.
I think that's phenomenal. That's great.
It's the whole get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how it is at first. Because you don't. I mean, you really are raw and a newborn.
Yes.
And you're what's who am I, and who are these, how are my relationships going to change? And it can be scary at first. And even though something better is on the other side, it's unfamiliar.
Mm-hmm.
And the unknown is always terrifying. But I mean, it sounds like your life has just gotten exponentially better. So what's on the horizon? What's in the future for Ashley?
Yeah, what's next?
What's next?
That's a great question. Right now, I think it's just, so I run my business, and we have a team of 3. So, just making sure that they're happy and healthy and excited to be working with me, and just building that. I think me and my husband are just we're just making the coolest decisions. We just refinanced our house to a 15-year loan, which is just wild, because I never would have thought of that before. I've never thought about it until now, where I'm wow, we're really actually thinking about the future and making decisions for that future self. So I think it's just me and my husband are setting ourselves up for success in the future. And I think, like, me and my husband, we do so many things. We just, like, try new stuff now because things are just, like, so much less scary when you're, like, in life. And just, like you said, when you're raw and you get uncomfortable, or you get comfortable being uncomfortable, it's like you kind of get excited about that feeling again, where you're just, like, new and exciting things. Like, let's try it, you know? Like, let's just figure it out. Like, this year, I've never been snowboarding or skiing, which is hilarious because I live in Minnesota. But I'm like, I'm so clumsy, but, like, I'm just going to try it. Like, what if I love it? What if I'm, like, an Olympic skier? We don't know, you know? So I think it's just, you know, we're just focusing on ourselves and just being better people. And telling my story, I think, is a really big thing for me. I share when I hit, like, big milestones for my sobriety, and it's crazy because I post it on social media, and just seeing the engagement that it gets, and just, like, people who are curious and, you know, have those thoughts of, like, am I, you know, like, I don't know what's going on, but they're scared because, especially in the Midwest, our society is very centered around meat raffles and pull tabs and going out. It's hard to find your footing if you are nervous. So I think just, like, telling my story and continuing to tell it is, like, what's most important for me. Just if one person hears it, it's just...
That's what makes it powerful.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're into the powerful stuff, and, you know, hell, here you are acting up all grown up and shit. I mean, gosh.
Listen, I turned 40 this year, and I have never been snowboarding or snow skiing or water skiing. And that is not a complaint. People are like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? I've never really.
Want to do it.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Okay, I have a lot of sensory stuff. So for snowboarding or snow skiing, you're gonna have to let me know how it goes, because all I say to Ryan is, I'm like, the moment I have to pee and I have to, like, take that shit off to go to the bathroom, it's over. I'm not putting it back on. You will find me in the lodge. It's done. Which is so sad, but still, like, right, in hot chocolate. Like, it's not really the act of skiing. I feel like once you get the hang of it, it'd be fun. But, like, putting all that shit on and then having to take it off, I would be the person, I'd be like, I have a diaper on. I'm pissing on myself right now, and I'm not even, like, ashamed to say it. That would be me. So you got to let me know how it is. You're either going to be like, oh my God, it was the best, or you're going to be like, that shit fucking sucked.
I have a feeling it's going to be the latter, but we'll see. Who knows?
Hey, at least you're going to give it a shot.
I think you're going to have a great time, and you should take a whole lot of pictures.
That's one thing I noticed when I got sober was, you know, you have all this free time now, it seems like. I'm sure you felt the same way.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to try new shit and just fill that time void. Now I filled it up so much, it's like, I don't know if I got time, if I have time to try something new. I want to, but it's like, God damn, when am I going to find the time to do it?
I have some things I can get
but
creative.
That's the shit I don't want to do.
Like, our daughter really, she's 14, and she wants to do the slingshot, the ride, where it slings you up.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like something new you should do, Ryan. Have fun with that.
We'll see.
That sounds scary.
It sounds terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, terrifying.
Well, Ashley, before we get you out of here, and thank you so much for joining us today and telling us your story, I ask all our guests this question at the end, and I've got to get a good old drunken story from you. If it involves somebody peeing, it's even better.
I know. She told us that she had one primed and ready to go. I'm so excited.
How funny is this? It does involve someone peeing.
Yes.
So what are the chances?
Yes.
So, all right, picture this. Me and my boyfriend, now husband at the time, we're in Las Vegas, December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2021. So the second...
It's already going badly. I love it.
Oh, yes. Second shutdown. So in Las Vegas, during COVID, and New Year's, they shut down the whole strip, and, you know, it's a whole party. Well, COVID, they did shut down the street, but it was a little modified. You couldn't get into a hotel unless you had their room card, because obviously they're social distancing and whatever. So we were staying at a hotel on one end of the strip, and as we were meandering and walking. We had a MGM card, so you could get into multiple different properties. So we were drinking, and I had shots of Jose Cuervo in my fur cheetah print jacket. And literally, I bought like 8 of them, I think, at the little whatever store. And so I was just like taking shots because we couldn't really get drinks because we were on the strip and you couldn't get in and whatever. Anyway, so I have shots of tequila in my pocket and I'm taking shots, and me and my husband get into a fight because, well, tequila and Vegas, I don't know.
Sure.
So we got into a screaming match in the middle of the strip, and I take off back to the hotel, but we're already on the far end. And he's somewhere, his version of the story is he was in an alleyway somewhere, I don't know, doing who knows what. And I'm walking back to the hotel. Well, drinking involves going to the bathroom. Well, I'm in black, underneath my fur cheetah coat, I'm in a black onesie. And if you are a woman, you know that you
got to get naked.
Yes. Well, I can't get into any of the hotels because I do not have a room key. So I'm walking down the Vegas Strip, and I am having to go to the bathroom, and I'm trying to get into multiple different hotels, and they're like, no, you can't get in here, and the lines were long and whatever. So I'm behind. Okay, I say behind, but it was just a planter peeing, not naked because I didn't want to get naked on the strip, but just like peeing my pants because I did not have anywhere to go.
Where else are you going to go?
Like, we say behind, but the planter was just like in the middle of everything. And then I had to proceed and walk back to my hotel, which was still probably 3 miles away, in my urine-soaked onesie. And I got back to the hotel, blacked out at this time. I remember waking up in the bed, naked, obviously, because I removed and my husband was not in the bed next to me. And it was like, I don't know, 6 a.m. at this time. And I'm like, I don't know where he is. I blacked out. I peed my pants. My soaked onesie's on the floor next to me. I'm like, oh my God. I look over and his phone is plugged in. So I'm like, well, he had to have made it back at some point. But we're in Las Vegas. He's blacked out drunk, probably still, because nothing closes. I'm like, where am I going to find this man? In Las Vegas with no phone. So I proceed to get dressed. I did not even shower. And I go downstairs, and I'm like calling my friends back home in Minnesota, like, hey, like, my husband is MIA in Las Vegas on New Year's, like, and I have his phone. I can't even, like, find his location or anything. And so I'm, like, walking around. I'm like, so I get coffee, and I'm like, what is my plan of action? So I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever. I'm, like, looking around, like, okay, he was, like, hyper fixated on this one certain slot machine at the time. So I'm like, we'll just start there. And sure as shit, I round the corner, and he is slumped over.
Oh my God.
Still hitting the button, mind you. Slumped over, just like hitting the button. And I look, and he has like $4,000 in the slot machine.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, is this winning? Or did you like take this out of the ATM? So I I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, I was drinking espresso martinis. And I'm like, awesome. Let's get you up to the hotel room. So he takes a nap, and he's like, I'm like, where did this money come from? And he's like, oh, I won. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Like, that's really good. So, and I was like, awesome, give me half.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like the hangover.
Yeah.
You like wake
Trying
up.
to piece shit together.
You're naked. Everything smells like piss.
Literally.
And your husband is found downstairs on a slot machine with $4,000.
Yes.
You're like, please tell me that you like. Did you what kind of dirty evil things did you do for this?
Literally.
That is amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! And I can only imagine because, like, you know how it is whenever you pee as a girl and there's, like, no toilet paper, or, like, you have to, like, pee outside. You have to squat and pee outside. We've all done it. And you do the little, like, butt shimmy shake because for whatever reason you think that's gonna, like,
gonna
get
fix
all
it.
the pee.
Yeah,
Well,
make it
because,
better.
like, you know, guys with their penis, you guys, like, shake it. So I think in our heads we're like, if we
We're
just
like, shake it.
we do that, every girl does it. See, we did it at the same time.
That's
She knew.
right.
But it doesn't do anything, right? Like, it doesn't really do anything. And so you constantly just have, like, wet, crusty pee and all of that. I can only imagine in a onesie walking down
miles.
Vegas. And did you wake up in the hotel and be like, oh my God, it smells like piss in here?
Yes, I literally was like, why? What am I going to tell my husband? What did people see me? Like squatting next to the planter? Like, what is she doing?
Like a toddler. It's like whenever it's like a toddler like goes behind like something and they're like, are you pooping? They're like, no.
Yes.
You know?
But the sad thing is, well, I shouldn't say it's sad, but you're in Vegas.
Right.
It was during COVID. Probably people didn't think anything
They're
of it.
like,
That's a normal Tuesday.
I mean, you. In all honesty, you might as well have just like stripped naked and pissed, and they would have been like, "Oh, crazy girl."
That's right.
oh, another
Vegas.
naked
Par
chick.
for the course.
I know. It's like everywhere you turn, someone is naked doing something crazy in Vegas.
Literally.
That is amazing.
That's a great
I love
story,
that story.
Yeah.
I'm glad you won, or your husband won $4,000.
Yeah, that made it a lot easier to swallow.
You're like, okay, well, this makes the day a little bit easier.
At least it's not 4,000 out of the bank account.
That's right.
Could have been. Could have been.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Ashley, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We
is great.
really appreciate it. It was great. Thanks again.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely, Ashley. Thank you so
Talk
much.
to you soon. Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thanks.
If you love the podcast, which I know you do, please like, subscribe.
And hit that notification bell to get
Boom.
notified every time we post.
That's right. Dropping them, baby. Word.